Hi, I'm Jeremy Pollack, and this is the Peace Building with Dr. Pollack show. In this episode, I coach a caller in reconciling with a client after his company accidentally insulted that client. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to hear me coach more live callers just like this one. George, welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
Oh, thank you for having me on. I had a question for you. I've been in my job for almost 25 years now, and I've never experienced a dilemma like this before.
Okay.
I'm an account director at a big ad agency, and I've been working with this client for over 10 years. They happen to be my biggest account and my most lucrative account. And recently I had an incident that has now become a power play between myself, the vice president on the client side, and the senior vice president, my boss, and a very competent account executive on my team. So the client, who has offices all over the country and is ranked in the top 10 of my clients in the agency, recently had an issue that has reached my desk. The contact at the client side contacted me several weeks ago to let me know that the agency, my agency, had sent her emails and has sent her invoices that are going to the wrong address and wanted me to have them changed. And I put that in to change the address. And it appears that it was taking way too much, taking too much of a time to have these changes made on our side. So after several weeks of this happening, the VP from the client side summoned me to his office as he had, I'm very good friends with him. And he wanted to show me something. So at lunch, he produced a printout of the email my staff had sent him regarding the change of address. Somewhere in this trail in this email trail going back and forth between the client and the staff, was this comment that my supervisor, my account supervisor, said that the client was becoming more annoying than the mosquito bite that she had been scratching on her butt all week.
Okay.
And the address change was finally met, but VP that I've known for 10 years told me, he says, did you see what he said? We're a problem. We're a problem to what she said, that we're a problem to her. So he showed me the printout and demanded that I fire the account supervisor, since she felt that the client was being a pain in the ass, so to speak. So my VP told me to say, okay, tell the client that we fired her and take her off the account and move her somewhere else. My fear is that the client will call the agency, because I've known him, and he has a power issue, that he'll call the agency with looking for this person. And if he gets contacted to this person and he finds out that she's still there, I've lost the account.
Okay.
So that's my issue. What do I do?
Yeah. Well, so first of all, it's in my experience, I think you're on the right track, because in my experience, lying to anyone, especially customers, like, people end up finding out things, and then it's worse for everybody. Has this sort of lie already been told?
I told him that we're going to talk about it. And when I talked to my boss said, well, I run this office, and it's up to me whether I want to fire somebody or not the client. And I'm trying to persuade him to change his mind and say, let's do something different. I can't say, I can't say that we fired her and then he calls up looking for this girl, and he finds that she's still there.
Do you think that she should actually be fired?
I definitely think so. You do not send an email of that nature to a VP, to somebody at the client's end that has the power of to make these changes. I mean, if you're looking at a trail of people getting involved in an email, you got to see what's on that trail.
Yeah.
You can't just send stuff out.
Yeah, it's a bad mistake. Let me ask you. So, is this account supervisor who sent that email? Is she good at her job aside from that? I mean, is she competent? Is she liked by other clients?
Yes, she is very good, and it's a tough. And I know from my bosses perspective that he knows her very well and she is very competent, and to get rid of her would be a detriment to the agency as well, because she works on other business.
Has there been any kind of conversation? I mean, maybe this is a dumb question. Has there been any kind of conversation where you and your client, the VP who you're friends with, you've sat down and said, listen, this was a bad mistake. She does not represent the thoughts of me or the agency. We're taking her off your account. You are a super, super valuable to us. We never want you to feel like this, like a conversation where you're trying to reassure and reconcile. Has there been something like that?
We're at the beginning stages of that. I mean, I've been trying to persuade the VP on the client end, because he hasn't had the day-to-day contact with her, so he doesn't know how good she is. Yeah. But I was thinking of getting everybody together, the account person on their end, as well as the VP, as well as me and my boss, and just having a sit down and letting them know that it was it's a little embarrassing to have somebody say you're a pimple on my ass, so to speak. But it happens.
So listen, there's two. I'm seeing like maybe two potential routes here. So route number one is we take that person off the account. You have maybe a private conversation at first with the VP who you're friendly with, and then you can bring everybody in, but you have that conversation where it's very much a reassurance conversation, because something in him obviously got to their ego. It made them feel less valuable, that sort of thing. And so if you could have some reassurance with him and say, you are one of our most valuable clients. We never want you to feel that way. That really upset us with what she said. We had a very stern talking with her. She's not on your account anymore. We're going to get her some training, some customer service training to make sure she never does that again with any client. And, this will never happen again. It's like some sort of reassurance with your client. And you also might even let him know during that, like, it's really hard for us to let her go. It would really impact our business, number one. And number two, you can humanize her in some way. Like, she's a mom. She needs to make this money. It would be really difficult for her. Like, it would hurt us. It would hurt her for just a faux pas like this. We're going to make sure it never happens again. So I don't know if you want to, like, you could take that route where you humanize her, you reassure them, you let them know what you're doing next to make sure it never happens again, and see if you can get some reconciliation that way. The second route is to do all that plus add her into the mix and have her actually come to a meeting with them and apologize and let them know, hey, I was having a bad day. Hey, it wasn't you. That week was really tough for me. I was super stressed out, and this is the reason I did that. I should have never done it. I really apologize. It'll never happen again. So that's also possible. Either of those sound like at least a first step instead of just kind of lying about it?
That's exactly what I was planning. I was thinking of doing it that way, because I think both, I know the client very well and I know her very well. By getting rid of, you don't want to get rid of anybody. They want to keep everything happy. And I think that's a great way of easing the pain, so to speak.
It's one thing if it's happened multiple times, she's got a bad attitude, she's not good at her job, etc. If she's good at her job, you like her, you don't want to lose her, but she made a faux pas one time, everybody makes mistakes. Are we a culture in which we're allowing people to sometimes make a mistake and then have to reconcile, own up to what they did, take responsibility, and okay, what are we going to do going forward to make sure this doesn't happen again? Can we have that kind of culture rather than just one mistake and you're out,
Yeah, it's perfect the way I'm thinking, and that I hear it from you, it makes it makes more sense to me to do it that way.
I know it's a tough situation, and there's going to have to be a little bit of like a, for lack of a better word, groveling, but letting your client know how much you value them and what you're doing to take steps that it's not going to happen again. Hopefully it works out. I hope you don't have to fire her, and hopefully you're not forced to go down the route of lying, because I think you're right. It will come out, and it will be worse for everybody if it does.
Right. Right. I agree with you 100%.
Okay. Well, thanks, George. I appreciate you coming on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Peace Building with Dr. Pollack show. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more workplace conflict advice. Share on social media if you think your friends and colleagues would benefit from this episode. And if you have a workplace conflict and want to be a caller on our show for free coaching and advice, please email podcast@pollackpeacebuilding.com. Thanks.